Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight on 207. I'm Samantha York.
And I'm David Guilford, in for Rob Caldwell. Coming up tonight, Steven Rowley grew up in South Portland and is now a best-selling writer. We're talking with him about Take Me With You, his new book that combines humor with love and loss.
But first tonight, when you go to a ball game, the back of your ticket probably has some disclaimer warning you to stay alert for balls flying into the stands.
Perri Kitei might have the best view at Sea Dogs games as the newest addition to the broadcast team. But twice in 1 month now, she was the target of foul balls. I climbed in the booth with her to learn more about the incidents and also about the person who still doesn't want to be anywhere else but a minor league baseball game on a summer night.
I'm from New York City, the Upper West Side of Manhattan.
How did you get to Maine?
How did I get to Maine? I applied to about 10 minor league baseball teams all around the country. I graduated college last year. Minor league broadcasting is the easiest pathway, not easy, but it's where broadcasters go to get into the business. So I applied all around the country. I wanted to come to Maine because of Emma Tiedemann, my partner. But when you talk about zeal, the reason his ERA is inflated, it's very rare as a woman broadcaster to have an opportunity to partner with another woman broadcaster. So that was my main motivation, and I was really excited to end up here.
What is your job description?
My job description is broadcasting and media relations assistant.
This seems like a lot of hats.
It is a lot of hats. In addition to broadcasting and calling games, when Emma goes on the road, I produce our away games. I host the pregame and postgame show every day. I record interviews with a player or a coach.
Un mentor o un entrenador, te dijiste en el pasado.
Hey, Schmitty. I drop off stats. I write game notes every single day.
Hola, Rosie, vamos.
What else do I do? I also stock the fridge in the media room. There's a lot of different hats that are worn, definitely.
When you got this job, were you expecting to deal with projectiles?
No, I wasn't. So Emma actually was traveling for the Big 12 softball tournament, and I was sitting on this side. Usually I sit on your side. I was sitting on this side so I could see the monitor more easily, and the foul ball came right over the monitor, curved into my side over the desk as I tried to move out of the way.
The 1-1 coming towards me, and it just hit me in the stomach. That was quite unfortunate.
Time to call Corbin Glass.
I am all good. Don't even worry about it.
Getting one foul ball in the booth is one thing. Getting two in a short span of time is interesting. What were your thoughts after the second one came in?
You could hear it in my voice after the second one. I said, comes towards me again.
The 2-1. Garcia fouls it back to me again. And that may or may not have just hit me in the head. I'm sick of these foul balls, guys. I'm really sick of it. As the 2-2 is upstairs.
I tried backing up and ducking down. It skipped off of my scorebook and then up into my forehead as I was trying to duck away from it. So everyone's out there saying, why don't you just move? It is not that easy, as you can see in this tiny broadcast booth. And I think both times I got pretty lucky. The first one hit me, it missed all of my major bones. And the second one bounced up and it hit me right here in the crown of your forehead, which is, you know, if you're gonna get in a street fight and you're trying to headbutt someone, this is the part of your head you would aim for because it's the hardest part of your skull. So it hurt, but it didn't hurt that badly.
I would argue all of our bones are important.
Yeah,
and major.
But it could have hit my nose, it could have hit my eyes. You know, there's so many worse places it could have hit my face. If it was gonna hit my face, I would want it to hit my face exactly where it hit my forehead.
You do have the best seat in the house, foul balls aside.
Yeah, it's a great view.
It's little surprise a woman who grew up playing pickup basketball in Central Park was able to shake off those impacts and not miss a beat on the call. As for her future, Perri said she calls games for 7 different sports in the span of a year. Basketball is her original love, and she might see how far that can take her down the road. But for now, we have her in Portland calling Sea Dogs games.
I love hearing her. I am sick of these fly balls, and then she recovers so well.
I kept that in. I love immediately after she said, I'm sick of these, there's a pause as the 2-2 is upstairs. Yeah. She keeps going.
I love it.
As she's rubbing her forehead.
Oh, good stuff. When we come back on this Tuesday, our conversation with Maine native and best-selling writer Steven Rowley.
Steven Rowley is a best-selling author who grew up in South Portland. His new novel is called Take Me With You. He is back in Maine for his usual summer tradition, and he's with us here on 207. Thank you so much for coming in. It's great to see you as always.
I love being back in the 207 and on 207.
You live in California now, so this is special when you're back here. And on the very first page of Take Me With You, which is set in the desert of California, where you now live and have for quite some time. But on page 1 of this book, you reference Maine. So clearly, it is still near and dear to your heart.
Maine is always on my mind, that's for sure.
We've talked about this before, but it was really when you were a kid going to the South Portland Library, that is what kindled your love of reading.
Not only that, but some writers with Maine roots, Robert McCloskey, you know, children's books, E.B. White. You know, these are books that I read as a very young child and obviously made an impression.
You dreamed when you were pretty young of becoming a writer, and it happened. And this is, I believe, now the sort of the 10th anniversary, correct me if I'm wrong, the 10th
Correct.
anniversary of the publication of your first book. When you look back now on a decade of being an author, of achieving that dream, what's it like for you?
Well, I guess this is what I do now. That's the number one thing I have to accept, because for a long time I felt like an outsider trying to break my way into the industry. And now that I'm here talking to you with my 6th novel, and I can hardly believe it. I thought the first 1 or 2 was maybe a fluke, but no, this is what I do, and I'm just grateful that people are reading these books and reading in general. I worry about the younger generations and their desire to read, and I hope books can inspire them.
Let's talk about the premise of Take Me With You, your newest book. It is set, as I said, in the California desert where you yourself now live. It's about 2 men, Jesse and Norman. And one evening, Jesse watches Norman go out into the backyard, his husband, Norman, go out into the backyard, walks out there, and what happens?
Steps into a beam of light and whoosh, disappears. You want to know where that came from?
You read my mind. It's like you're an extraterrestrial who can read my thoughts, Steven.
Not quite. This is not where I rip back my skin suit and show you my true alien self. But it is based on an argument that heated discussion, argument may be too hard, that I have with my own husband, and maybe it's the same with your wife. If a UFO showed up over the backyard and a beam of light shone down, and you don't have time to think or pack or even say goodbye, would you go? Or would you not go? And my husband was always team, bye, he's gone. And I'm left thinking, am I not enough? Is this life that we're building not enough? Are the dogs not enough to stay for? But what I love about that as a question, particularly to kick off a novel, is I think both answers are morally defendable. How could answers to the unknowable questions of the universe, how could that not be irresistible?
It's a really interesting idea. So once it came into your mind through the actual discussion that you and your husband had, was it then pretty easy to tell the story? Did the writing come pretty quickly to you because you were so jazzed about the idea that you were able to run with it?
Well, I was excited by the idea, that's for sure. But then you start to think about the possibilities of what come next. So this is entirely told from the perspective of the person who is left behind. Is the partner coming back? Is he allowed to move on with his life? How soon before his husband's friends and family come closing in on him? And I've seen enough episodes of Dateline that I know who is always the prime suspect in a disappearance, but the spouse. And so as the world starts to close in on this character, he's left trying to define himself. How do you think of yourself when your entire adult life you've been one half of a whole and you're left now as an individual?
You have always written with humor. Your books have a lot of stuff in them that's funny, and this book has a lot in it that is funny as well. But you also are dealing with, some of these serious questions about relationships, about loss.
The state of the world.
Yeah. So was that something that you were able to get into some of those themes more deeply than you have in your past books, simply because you've got this premise that enables you to go in those directions?
Yeah, for sure. But I do think the humor, oftentimes people mistake humor for the absence of seriousness, whereas I think the reverse. I think if you're able to look at something happening to you and take a slight bit of authorship over it, enough at least to make a joke, you're saying these bad things happening to me are not going to define me, but I'm going to survive them. And I think humor has has always been one of our oldest coping mechanisms.
And even though your husband said that, yes, he would leave you to get into the spaceship with the aliens to see what happens, and he might never see you again, you two still are doing great because you dedicated this book to him.
I dedicated the book to him. Yeah, I mean, how could I not after all this? But you know, I do think the flip side of this equation, there's something brave about staying. Too. I do think of this as my first love story. And it's not, we lionize the passion of new love in literature, right? We love a meet cute. We love the beginning, the hot passion of new love. These characters have been together for 30 years. And what does that look like? And certainly, I talked about exploration and how that could not be irresistible. But I do think it's possible for two people to be together their entire lives and still not know everything about one another. So isn't there a brave, sort of quieter exploration involved in marriage and relationships?
Or maybe sometimes in real life one can have both options, as you sort of have, because you live in California, but you come back to Maine. So you have stayed true to your roots in Maine.
Always. But I come back in the summer.
Great to have you back. A pleasure as always. Steven Rowley, the name of the new book is Take Me With You. If you'd like more information on him or the book, his other books, you'll find that in the 207 section of our app or website. And stick around, we will return right after this.
Hey there, it's time for your weekly dose of Maine Things To Do. It's your chance to hear about all the fun happening around our state this week. People send me their events through our website, newcentermaine.com/Maine Things To Do, and then we do this. Ready, set, go. First on the list this week is the Bags and Brews Cornhole Tournament. It's happening at Mass Landing Brewing in Freeport. This is a fun-filled fundraiser and community event benefiting the Freeport Chamber's scholarship funds. There will be 32 teams of 2 competing, so be sure to register for your team to make it onto the list. The event starts at 5:30. Check out the flyer for all the details and how much it costs to participate. All right, this next event always makes me think of my Grandpa York and all the times I would visit him and he would look at me and say, "Samantha, you put in for that moose permit yet?" He would have taken it if I got it. I'm telling you about that because the Maine State Moose Permit Drawing in Acton at the Acton Fairgrounds. There will be carnival rides, lots of hands-on outdoor activities for people of all ages, a vintage car show, a motorcycle rodeo, and more. Just check out the flyer for times. To the weekend now and the Lobster Rock OOB 2026.
Is that like Fraggle Rock?
Oh. This might be better.
Okay.
Come out and celebrate the beginning of summer in Old Orchard Beach. There will be plenty of lobster dishes to try and lots of activities for the kids. You can even learn how to properly crack and eat a lobster, which is with your hands. And lots of butter. The event starts at 3 and looks like it should be a fun time. All right, Saturday is also the 2026 FHS Summer Solstice Gala in Freeport. Come out and support the Freeport Historical Society and enjoy live music, amazing food and drinks, incredible auction items, and more. The event starts at 6 and all the money will help preserve Freeport's rich historical heritage. Saturday is also cookies, cakes, and pies. Oh my. This is a parking lot bake sale. It costs $10 to reserve a spot. The event is from 9 to 4 and the flyer has everything you need to know. All right, that brings us to a Sunday Fun Day and the York Auto Show, which is happening at York High School. The show draws hundreds of cars from around the seacoast. Spectators have the opportunity to vote for their favorite car in 21 categories and trophies will be given out. The fun starts at 7 a.m. And Sunday is also Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all those dads out there, and a special shout out to my dad Jeff and my bonus dad Jody. I wouldn't be who I am or where I am without ya. Love ya. So be sure to do a little something extra for that special guy in your life on Sunday. And that's it. That's all we have time for. And that is Maine Things To Do this week. As always, if you know an event or happening in your hometown or community, send it my way. Send it through our website, newcentermaine.com/Maine Things To Do. Try to give me at least a week's notice, although a 2 weeks notice would be better. I'm Samantha York, and remember, if you are bored in Maine, oh my gosh, it's almost summer, officially summer. Wait, will it be when this airs? It won't be. It's your own darn fault. See you next time. Coming up tomorrow on 207, Mainers get excited about strawberry season and blueberry season and even moose and deer hunting season. But it turns out there is also a halibut fishing season.
The big fish are being caught and brought to market along the coast right now, and restaurant and fish market customers are getting to enjoy the treat while it lasts. May and June are the months most fishermen are allowed to catch halibut, and for the fishing industry, we're told it's a bonus at a time of year when they can use it.
And so having a fish that's, a lot of these guys are catching fish in the 40, 50, 60, 100 pounds. And if you can get $10 a pound for that, that's not a bad little income stream to add on top of the other pieces of work that you're doing.
It'll feed everybody
Restaurant
tonight.
chefs say the fish are also a treat for the customers. On the next 207, Don Kerrigan learns
right
why the
now,
people who
about
catch them
200,
and cook them
and it
love
can go up
halibut.
a little bit in the summer to 3.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Before we go, we have music from Scottish fiddler Louise Bicken.
Here's her song, Coldstream. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.